Uh-oh.
Battery's low. We'll fix that.
That's so bad. Money. Switch it button off.
They were here
That's where you gotta switch back.
There was some miscommunication. Last year.
They'll be up to move it
They
back
don't
now.
really have to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that'll move too. It's on central time.
It's just miscommunication. Misunderstanding.
Not really a priority list. Not everything.
Bring that up. Try to explain it today. Went back.
Look, our glasses are almost exactly the same.
Yeah, I knew that. They have. I didn't know if it's over that.
Oh. Did you
I'm gonna say something different.
rock and
Go
roll?
ahead. Tabled it.
I was like, this is not going good. I hope you see what I said. It's like, what? Oh, that's on there, but I can't see the screen.
Oh.
Emma's tabled or?
Well, they're back on the, we never tabled.
You ain't do nothing. No action.
I'm just saying, we don't need to bring.
No.
Take it out.
No action taken.
Yo. Things are easier.
Have a contest.
Are we good, David? Okay, we'll call this meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll start off with the minutes. Has everybody from the previous meeting, has everybody had a chance to review those? Is
Mr. Chairman, oh, go ahead.
there a second?
I move to
Second.
approve.
It-
Okay,
Motion
then,
by Commissioner Kleeman. Is there a second?
the one did.
Oh, okay. Second by Commissioner Marsh. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Okay, moving on to the agenda. Commissioner Marsh, do you have any additions?
I do not.
Commissioner Dalzo?
Just under portfolio report, Southwest Correction Center.
Commissioner Pelton?
No.
Commissioner Kleeman? And I have none. So entertain a motion for approval with the addition.
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Dalzo, seconded by Commissioner Kleeman to approve the agenda with the single addition of Southwest Correction Center. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. I will turn it over to David with the road department.
Thank you. Let's see here. Carl, would you mind coming up?
Good morning.
Morning.
Just a brief report for you guys today. On 86th Avenue, would like to meet with SHPO to discuss their testing that they're requesting on that job. So when we get opportunity to do that, we can move forward with that one, hopefully. 92nd Avenue plans are pretty much complete. We have received the permit authorization for the project. Says here permit will be complete once invoicing is finished with the mitigation credits. I did receive that letter this morning, so that invoicing has taken place, and that has been sent to the Army Corps, so that one should be good to go. We are working on finaling the plans and the easement procurement. Any questions so far? On 100th Ave, plans are 95% complete. Army Corps has accepted our mitigation plan and has issued the permit. We are working through some utility conflict resolution with some oil and gas companies. There's several pipelines along there. I think we got agreements for a few of them. We're still working through some ONEOK pipeline issues. Once we get those addressed, we'll finish up the easement negotiations and go to bid. I do anticipate, because that's just a mile long, that we can still get that bid and constructed this season. So 12th Street plans are about 90% complete. We're working on submitting the 404 permit. We do have the cultural report for this one. There are a few lithic sites along the project where we're looking at the impacts there, and I think we should be able to come to an agreement to avoid or mitigate those. 16th Street, we do have a grading design, working on the plan development. 404 permit is in production for the application. That project, there is a pretty significant cultural site, so when we meet with SHPO, I'd like to get a plan for that one to go forward. 2025 projects, all the field surveys are completed. We have done some coordination with the landowners. The environmental and cultural surveys are completed. We did receive wetland reports for a few of those and are working on our jurisdictional determination. We are beginning grading design on these fairly soon. So any questions so far on design projects? Then the golf course road project, we did have the bid opening on the May 15th meeting. The project was awarded to Central Specialties. In discussions with them, we're going to target a pre-construction meeting after the 4th of July. Anticipate to begin kind of late July or August. Likely it's probably a 2-month time frame for construction, and that'll probably include a little bit of idle time as well, because they'll probably do the grading and the graveling and then come back a few weeks later, month, and pave. They intend on doing the pavement while they're in production on a project somewhat nearby up by Mandaree, so they're going to do those at the same time, so that'll be their schedule. Any questions?
Mr. Commissioner, I have a question for Carl.
Yes.
So on the golf course road, because isn't that a single way in? How are you going to handle that traffic?
Yes, they'll have to maintain traffic while they're doing their grading, just like we do on pretty much all the other grading projects in the county. When they're placing the asphalt, they'll have to flag and pilot car.
Okay.
And then there's some coordination requirements in the plans as well with the golf course staff in the city, as far as kind of keeping their business informed of what they're doing and kind of working with them. So there's hopefully interruptions aren't too severe.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank you.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
I have some updates as well. So our first project that we'll talk about is ongoing construction. So that would be 2nd Street Northwest and 84th Avenue Northwest. The contractor continues to work on the project. They are starting at the west end of 84th Avenue and are working east. They've been slowed a little bit by the recent rains and whatnot, but they are making some progress. They have encountered some rock, which has been slowing them down. Now, I don't know if it's a significant issue yet at this point, but we are measuring the rock and telling time materials expended for the process. If they continue to hit rock, there may be a request for additional compensation at some point, like there was on 79th. I don't think we're there yet, but we're continuing to monitor what they're doing out there. Commissioner Pelton and myself were out there yesterday. I don't know, Craig, did you have anything you want to add about it? It's going to look a lot different out there when it's done, but a lot of stuff going on.
That was just their first hill for rock. So.
That's right, exactly. It's a little early in the game yet, but they were trying to plant the seed, just that they were frustrated. And this is a couple large rock, but several trees have also been removed, and I guess I'm repeating myself. Project has slowed down just because of the recent rain. But every landowner out there has been pretty happy. I haven't had any complaints, and they've been friendly with the contractor, and so I think everything's going good out there. So, questions, comments? Okay, so we'll move on to 2024 projects. First one we'll talk about is 117th Avenue Southwest. If you guys remember, we're going back and forth. We had one remaining easement out there. She was working through her attorney. Last Sunday, we kind of hammered out the rest of it. And actually, when we were out there with Commissioner Pelton at our construction meeting yesterday, I got a call from the last remaining landowner saying she's ready to sign. We forwarded all documents, actually mailed them out. She'll be signing them. We're getting them back. I worked with Sally yesterday. We set up a time to open the project. And so the bid opening will be conducted July 17th at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Questions on that? Okay, next item is 14th Street Southwest. We're continuing to meet with remaining landowners and securing the right of way. We're also waiting for a core permit. The core permit was submitted 30 days ago. I contacted Carlson McCain. They were going to hit him up again today here just to see where that's at. Once we secure that, the permit and get the remaining easements wrapped up, then we can advertise and open this project up as well. Questions on that? 119th Avenue Southwest is the next one we have on. So both the last two projects there had pretty significant cultural items. Looks like we're getting through 119th as far as culturally, but we also have a gas pipeline out there that we're working with now to try to make sure that we don't interfere with it and have to adjustments on it. Once we get those issues resolved, we'll begin collecting the right of way on it. And then for 99th, we're still working on avoiding the significant cultural issues for that project. So, any questions on the 2024 projects? Next item that we have is Manning. So we recently conducted a meeting, I believe that was last week, with Southwest Water to move forward with the water line replacement part that's been added on to the Manning project. And I think we found a way to move forward. The first step involves the Manning Water Board assuring that they have buy-in with all the landowners out there. The thought is to get a private easement to put the water line on, so we're not having water lines underneath pavement. Southwest doesn't want to replace pavement if there's a leak or anything like that. So we're trying to make sure that we have buy-in from all the landowners out there. The Manning Water Board is contracting the residents, and then we've been working with Southwest Water on what they want as far as an easement for when they take over the pipeline. And I think we got something just yesterday, actually, as a template for Southwest Water on that. So a little bit more that I don't have on here is I talked with our water guy yesterday. All we had for water records were kind of lines drawn on maps and pretty vague locations on stuff. I think the next step for us to do to come up with a preliminary design is to have our surveyor come out, and I believe is it Holly Hutchinson? Is that her last name? Maybe go out with Holly, identify curb stops, and identify whatever things that we have that we can kind of try to narrow down the locations of those existing lines a little bit better than what we've been provided, just so we get an adequate design. So maybe Joanne, do you have any questions on that stuff? I know that you're probably the most plugged into this. So
You're right. We did get easement, a sample of an easement from Misty yesterday. And we are working on a certified letter to go out to all residents. So we make sure that they get the letter and they respond to it. So Holly and I are working on that. And she's also still working the lead issue. We have to get all that information about lead pipes. So she's working on that also.
I don't know, is Holly on the call today?
No.
I am.
Oh,
Okay.
I lied.
Holly, I don't know if you heard me, but if that's okay, I'll probably have one of our surveyors contact you and maybe you guys can go out and try to see or verify some locations on curb stops and services, any additional information that's actually more than just kind of a stick on a map, and see if we can, shoot some XY coordinates in and get everything located, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely. I was pretty much able to locate probably 98% of the curb stops on that map. So I can walk through. Just give me a heads up when.
Yes, ma'am, will do. Thank you.
Yep.
Further questions on Manning? Okay, and then for last, just for the 2025 projects, so 7th Street Southwest from 101st to 97th and 97th to 94th, they're both the same report. So we've got survey permission from all the landowners, and we're out there collecting the data for the topographical surveys, and then the wetland and cultural surveys will be following up here shortly. 3rd Street, I've been calling and getting permissions on that. And again, Commissioner Dalzell, that's why you got a message on your phone too, but that'll be going on as well. Our surveyors and whatnot will be busy on 7th still here for a little while, but once we complete 3rd Street, then we'll send all the surveyors out to do that too. They've been shooting just everything within the right of way right now, but once we get clearance from all the other landowners, then we'll finish that off as well. So that's all I have. Questions, comments?
Aaron, I do. Did you and David have a chance to have a meeting with Scott Bice since the last commission meeting?
Mr. Chairman, I did try to contact Scott, and Scott had said that he wanted to hold off on a meeting. He said that he was still waiting for a meeting between the commission, Continental Resources, and himself, that he was under the understanding that it would be set up, and he has not heard back from that yet, was what I was told.
Mr. Chairman, I believe at the last meeting, we voted to or stated that the Continental Vice situation was not the county's business or to be involved with, so.
Should we send them a certified letter stating, or, showing what we're offering for easements? If you don't want to have a meeting with us?
Is that a question directed at
Yeah,
Mr. Chairman, or?
Talking, I guess.
I think that would help, I guess.
Yeah, I think that would make sense, that so we can move forward. Here's our county policy and what we offer for easements, and you send it to him so he knows. I think he does know, but we need to be certain that he receives our offer on what we pay for easements.
Okay. Do we,
Mr. Chairman, do you want me to work with the state's attorney on putting a letter together?
yeah.
Okay.
That's okay with the rest of the commission.
Okay, we'll put something together and then we'll get it out to everyone for approval.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Darren. Mr. Cataris, are you online?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. It's all yours.
Okay, pretty brief this morning. 109th Avenue. All the industrial parcels yet to respond with signed easement agreements, though we have been in contact with some of them and received one. I did have a Teams meeting last week with the Tesoro terminal that's right up by Highway 200, and that did go pretty well. They want to see a revised agreement, and it sounds like they're on board, but the wheels just kind of move slow there. Once the businesses comply, we will revisit the private landowners who are opposed to the project. On 82nd, designers continue to work on the design surface and are finishing up our culvert review. Bid dates are likely pushing to fall. Negotiations with landowners are continuing. On 26th, that project was bid on April 17th and was awarded to Halibuchuk Construction. They anticipate a mid to late July start date and have a November 16th completion date. And on 27th, legals with vouchers have been sent out to all the landowners. Half have been received. We are sending letters to look for offsite mitigation availability and will apply for permitting directly after receiving a response. Any questions on any of those projects?
No, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, James. Jeremy?
Good morning.
Just got a couple brief updates, a couple pay estimates. First project or first pay estimate is for 7th Street. It's being built by Martin Construction. It is pay estimate number 12, actually. The amount is $124,273.99, which we are recommending payment to Martin Construction in that amount.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we go ahead and pay Martin Construction estimate number 12 in the amount of $124,273.99.
There's a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Pelton, second by Commissioner Dalzell to approve pay estimate number 12 to Martin Construction on 7th Street Southwest, Charlie's Pass, in the amount of $124,273.99. Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Marsh,
Yes.
Commissioner Dalzell,
Yes.
Commissioner Pelton,
Yes.
Commissioner Kleeman,
Yes.
Commissioner Beener.
Yes, motion carried.
So just a kind of a general update to the commission. That project, like most of them, been slowed by the rain. The rain is welcome for a lot of people, but road construction isn't always welcome. But I think if the weather kind of turns around, I'd say in a couple weeks they should finish it. They're also kind of waiting on One Oak to remove their line, which I'm not exactly sure what the schedule is, but it's getting right down there that they should finish fairly soon once conditions cooperate. Another Martin construction project is 108M. That's just a bridge replacement project. It was bid way back in March of 2023. We're having a pre-construction meeting tomorrow, actually, at our office at 10 o'clock. We just got their schedule this morning, and it looks like an early July starting date is when they're anticipating getting started on that project. Next project on our list that will start fairly soon is a bridge replacement on 25th Street. That one Wilson Construction is going to be doing, and we're thinking in the next week or two they'll be starting on that project. So that one is good to go. Wilson Construction is also going to be doing 25th Street, right adjacent to that bridge project from 111th to Highway 22. We're thinking sometime in July or August for a starting date for that project. We have another pay estimate for 91st. That is being built by Edward H. Schwartz Construction. We had pay estimate number 2. The amount is $43,987.63, which we are recommending payment in that amount to Schwartz.
Chairman, I move that we pay estimate number 2 to Edward H. Schwartz Construction in the amount of $43,987.63.
There's a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Pelton, second by Commissioner Kleeman to approve pay estimate number 2 to Edward H. Schwartz Construction for 91st Avenue in the amount of
Hold on, I'll move it. There you go.
$43,987.63. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Marsh,
Yes.
Commissioner Dolzall,
Yes.
Commissioner Pelton,
Yes.
Commissioner Kleeman,
Yes.
Commissioner Beener.
Yes, motion carried.
So the next two construction projects on our list is under contract with Jensen Brothers Construction, 104th and First Street. We had a pre-construction meeting on July 6th. A little unsure of their starting date, but I would guess sometime in July. Also 110th, we had a pre-construction meeting the same day on June 6th. They started Monday of this week, so they're just working on approach culverts for now, but I think as the next week or two comes, it'll sort of ramp up, but they're sort of working with limited crews and limited equipment, but they did get started this week. One more construction project that has a little bit of an update. 114th, that 7 mile project from 28 M Street to 21 M Street. Bronco Brothers has anticipated sometime in July starting date, potentially early July, but right now we're thinking July sometime. So I think that's kind of the summary of our active construction projects. Design projects, we're kind of focused on the projects that we have the core permit either secured or pending, imminently pending approval. So we got a few easements left in 97th and 11th Street. The Werner area project, we're kind of focusing on easements. And then also 109th, northwest of Killdeer is kind of what we're focusing on easements because we think those are going to be the projects we can get to bid fairly soon. There's also a project, it's kind of split up between 3 roadways, 10th Street, 113th, and 7th Street. That core permit is imminently going to be approved, so we're going to obtain easements on that project fairly soon. Our 2025 projects, we have all the survey done on all those, all the cultural surveys done. So we have one of them designed, but we're not probably ready to collect easements on 2 of those 4, but the other 2 we've started getting the right-of-way plats together. So any questions on those projects or anything else that I might have missed? Hearing none, I think I'm good.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jeremy. I think at this moment, if you guys don't mind, I'd like to have Zane come up front here and introduce himself and go ahead and tell him who your favorite boss is and why it's Terry.
I'm Zane Enzi. I started in April and I'm happy to be part of Dunn County, working up in Killdeer. So
Welcome. Thank you.
thank you.
Glad to have you on board. Thanks. You can just tell Terry why he's your favorite. That's fine too. Moving on, I highlighted, this is the gap up, what I got in red is after 111th, after the pavement ends. And this is kind of the project we did in 2019, the Bronco Brothers did for us. I'm proposing that we put out to bid this project. Is what I'm hoping to do is haul in a significant amount more gravel, or have hauled in significant more gravel, some base 1 reclaimed within that. And I was hoping to send that out to bid so we can get that in and done and quickly done. This gravel would come out of the Beener pit. If you remember, the gravel that's on there came out of Badlands aggregate. So it's a sandy gravel. Beener's got some pretty good clay in it. So I think we mix them both and put that base 1. It'll be a pretty good structure on there. So recommending that I think that would go out to bid second month in, or the second meeting in July. So, I mean, that one's not part of our project list, but I'd like to include it anyway. So if we're all good with that, that's spectacular. I don't know if I need a motion to send that out to bid or not, but.
Probably should. What What are you expecting the dollar amount to be? Yes.
I really don't have that put together. I know, Jeremy's helping me with this. I could get that next meeting, but we'd have to get it out advertised here before the next meeting too, so.
I'd say make a motion to,
I mean, basically, we've got a lot of roads that are short of gravel and our county can't get them all done. So we're thinking about putting some of these out to bid and getting some of our gravel caught up.
yeah, I think it's a good idea. We got a lot of roads that need work.
So I'd move that we go ahead and put that on, send it out to bid. East of the gap,
Is there a second?
or west of the gap.
Motion made by Commissioner Pelton, second by Commissioner Dolzall to put out to bid re-graveling and base one
Yep.
on the Gap Road.
Yep.
Okay. Is there any discussion? I would like to make it aware that that is a family member that you're going to be taking the gravel from. So are you guys okay with me voting or?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know about everybody else, but
Is there any more discussion?
I don't know why you'd want to vote against it though.
No, I don't. We need gravel on these roads. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
I,
All opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, thank you. Next thing I think is some permits, Mr. Chairman, if you got time to do that.
Yeah, go ahead and do with the utility permits.
Yeah. Okay, so first permit is Marathon Oil. They got a pipeline going on and a fiber optic going with that. They got 3 crossings, one on Second, and then the 97th and 96th that you can see up on there. And then the next one would be Tesoro High Plains Pipeline. They have one going in underneath 92nd and 2nd Street there. And then One Oak has one going underneath 91st. They got a 6-inch poly pipeline underneath 91st up there. And then the last one is McKinsey Electric. They got a few here going under 1st, 92nd, 93rd Avenue Northwest, and then 1st Street Northwest. They got a couple crossings under 1st there, so it's a pretty good run there, but that's kind of what I got there. Full disclaimer, one of them is also an overhead, but they're just redoing the overhead, so they're actually making a little more clearance on that overhead. That's why I didn't have them come in. They're just redoing that. So I would recommend approval of the utility permits.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the utility permits as presented.
Okay, is it motion made by Commissioner Dolzall, seconded by Commissioner Pelton to approve the utility permits? Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all I have unless there's any other questions for me.
Thanks,
Okay.
David.
Thank you.
Sally, when you're ready, could you talk about the garbage agreement with Little Mo?
Yep.
Alrighty, so we have the garbage agreement with Holiday City for Little Mo. We've done it for this will be the 2nd year. They have not raised the price. It'll still be $1,100 per month for the dumpsters. So we just kind of need it signed.
Approval for the contract.
Yeah, approval for the contract, same as last year. No changes in cost or agreement.
Can we try to word that so unless the price changes?
That it's
Or
remains.
would that make sense where we don't have to do it every year?
Mr. Chairman, I think if they're presenting this to us, we I imagine they want the contract, so I think we
Okay.
just need to approve it every year.
Okay.
And
Any discussion?
Chairman, I move to approve the garbage contract with the city of Halliday for the Little Missouri Bay rec area.
Yep. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Dolzall, second by Commissioner Pelton to approve the garbage contract with Halliday and Little Mo. Was there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
Gary.
Yeah. Okay, good. That'll make it easier.
For everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, Sally, when you're ready to do the amended permit and the additional permit.
So we have an amended permit for Ezra Barrows for the Kildare Saddle Club on July. They have it for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, but they'd like to add the 5th to this for the Kildare Saddle Club in the rodeo arena.
Chairman, I move to approve the amended special events permit for Ezra Barrows Legion for the July 5th.
For a second.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Dolzall, seconded by Commissioner Marsh to approve, to amend the special events permit for the American Legion for to add July 5th. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, motion carried. There's an additional one, right?
Yep, we do have an additional one. So we do have a new one for the Dunn County Fair Association, High Plains. This is going to be for July 5th, and it's going to be for the 4th of July concert. We need that approved.
Motion to
questions?
approve.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Marsh, seconded by Commissioner Kleeman to approve the special events permit for the Dunn County Fair Board. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carried. And Tyler Software.
Yep, you can do Tyler. Okay, so after implementing a lot of the Tyler software, the finance side, there's a couple of modules that we decided that we probably needed. One of them is for the road department. It's a warehouse module, and it will allow them to track parts, other inventory, where it's at, what equipment it's been on, so we can really track how much we're spending on projects, equipment, things like that. So we would like to move forward with that module. The beginning cost of that is $4,524, and it'd be an additional $1,260 for the annual maintenance on that. And then we would also like to add the accounts receivable module. That would also be used mostly by the road department for like scoria days and things like that. And it may be used, I can honestly say, in our department, in the auditor's office. The license total for that is $3,906 with an annual maintenance of $1,050. So the total for the license cost would be $8,430, and the annual maintenance for those two modules would end up being $2,310. And we have seen demos on all of those. Lori, David, and myself, and I believe Terry was in on it too. They really do seem like they would work very well for the road department and tracking their inventory. So we would just like approval to purchase those modules.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we go ahead, approve the purchase of the Tyler Tech modules as Sally presented.
For a second,
Second.
motion made by Commissioner Dalzell, seconded by Commissioner Pelton to approve Tyler Technologies warehouse and accounts receivable software. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Marsh,
Yes.
Commissioner Dalzell,
Yes.
Commissioner Pelton,
Yes.
Commissioner Kleeman,
Yes.
Commissioner Beener.
Yes, motion carried. Craig, could you, or were you gonna talk about the weed board or is,
Oh, it'll be good.
Okay.
They've, used up their $75,000 in grasshopper chemical
Wow.
already. So they're, wondering if we could put some more money in it, keep it going. I guess the southern part of the county's got more grasshoppers right now than the
is
others.
75 a good spot to start with?
Well, it'll get us going again for a while, I guess, unless you want to go to 100 or.
We're not very far in the summer yet.
Nope.
Maybe more.
And the thing about it is Diane said that whatever spray she buys, they will take back if we don't use it and reimburse us. So it's not like we gotta hold it.
I'd move we put another 100,000 into the grasshopper funds.
There a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Pelton, seconded by Commissioner Dalzell to approve another $100,000 to the weed board for the grasshopper chemical fund cost share program. Is there any discussion?
So what's
Mr.
this
Chair.
going to do to the grasshopper contest at the fair? Just wondering.
You should be able to find more dead ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, do we need to have Luann just put something out again that we're continuing the program?
Yeah, we should keep advertising it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Marsh,
Yes.
Commissioner Dalzell,
Yes.
Commissioner Pelton, Commissioner Kleeman,
Yes.
Commissioner Beener.
Yes, motion carried. Okay. Tracy, you want to talk about the Southwest Corrections Center?
Okay, just some information. Rochelle Juntine, I don't know, Juntinen, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, was the overall kind of manager of Southwest Corrections. And she resigned and she took a job as deputy director of the Department of Corrections with the state. So it was a good move for her. We appointed, or the board appointed Kara, who has been working with the community program in Southwest Correction Center. So she, excuse me, she's the new director of the adult detention center in Dickinson. So, and then the Dakota Women's Facility, I'm drawing a blank on the name, but the person that was awarded she is now the director. So nothing's really changed at the correction center. I mean, the women's center in New England. Another thing, the plumbing and everything was really bad. A lot of problems at the adult detention center in Dickinson. And right now, it's being replaced I think the cost is about $350,000 total, but it's kind of a slow process because they've got to do, they can't just move out everybody. So just with security and replacing all the shower heads and drains and pipes, the facility's are about 40 years old, so things end up wearing out. And so that's going on, but as of now, the costs are covered. So anyway, just wanted to let you know that.
Thanks for the update. Any questions? Okay. We'll move on to the Jake brake ordinance, engine brake ordinance. I guess, if we approve this, then we'll be able to move forward and get signs up and start enforcing it. So this, has everybody had a chance to review it?
I read it. Out. Faster.
I'd move that we pass the ordinance for engine brakes for the city of Manning.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, a motion made by Commissioner Pelton, second by Commissioner Kleeman to approve the ordinance for engine brakes for the city of Manning, prohibiting engine brakes. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we'll take a break until 10 o'clock.
This is good for 3 times, isn't it? You get 4th time you get a ticket.
Depends on who's driving, Bob.
I was just gonna see what Gary said. It's kind of hard to get on. You come into Manning and also, oh, shit.
Heading home? Want to pick that up for you?
Already got it now.
That's important part.
No.
Yeah, it is funny.
You get to the pickup, Dave, take a pill, so when you get home, you'll be ready to sleep.
I'll be ready.
Hey, Cody.
Yeah. We'll just keep signing stuff. Thank you.
I call her.
I heard Larry now.
That's it.
Okay, that's what I figured. Okay, let's do that one.
If you help me to drop the filter.
No. If you want to drop them, that'd be great.
Where the 2 things are.
Oh, take her easy.
Seriously?
Any way you can get it.
Yeah. I'm great. Could be better. Huh?
You hurt yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. We done.
Like said, you need too much furniture?
Somehow I tweaked it. I really don't know how.
In there.
Thank you.
Very good.
Grab the-
That's for sure.
You,
I
had a chance to get a hold of.
Oh, we were gonna call her one day. I mean, they were talking about.
Gary could be there.
Yeah.
Are you still thinking that SHPO's gonna come out and have a meeting?
I was gonna call them again here.
Harry,
There's kind of a few projects that I like.
Like after talking to them, things moved ahead a little bit.
Yeah,
But now we.
what's the face? I was born.
I mean, I guess a few things I have for them are kind of out of their hands right now. Sure, as far as they're concerned, 'cause I haven't submitted anything on that 16th and 86. They've got their testing, but
Yeah.
Okay.
both of them are kind of a situation where I don't know what we can do with them. So I'm wanting to get their
Yeah.
some guidance from them on what they think is appropriate.
No, and I know how my wife feels. Wait, what? Deal with me.
Hypothetically, I built a house along an unimproved section line. Okay. This county to
No, nice, huh?
Hypothetically, we wouldn't do nothing.
wouldn't do nothing.
So, since you're just hypothetically.
Yeah.
Okay, how about this? I'm probably the biggest house on that section line.
Yeah.
That,
Yes.
road.
Well, and
Or-
but I said,
Well, I mean, it's a mile from good roads and it's gonna be somewhere in the middle, probably a quarter mile from one end. Whatever
Okay.
route would be better.
so you don't have
So the two options that I see is, one, there's a improve a section line permit where you can improve it yourself.
Right.
Not that you
But-
gotta petition to get it
I see it as being like,
by the county.
Yeah, well, at worst, I'd need to score you.
so I signed up for it because,
Oh,
I can answer questions if I.
Get out, but it's pretty
So
bad.
I'm wearing this monitor thingy that it's basically like what diabetics are like.
Well, there's those options.
Oh,
And so, well, this one
Hypothetically speaking, when we get closer, we'll
alarmed all night long and we'll.
turn around.
oh my God, really?
So this morning, I was texting him, this is not gonna work out. I just have to wear it for 14 days, but this is not gonna work for 14 days. Why is that happening?
Yeah.
Like,
Does it keep going, like, is it going off like all the time?
well, it goes off on your phone, on the app,
Mhm.
and then on your watch, and it went off 6 times last night.
Oh my God.
And I get, if you're a diabetic, you don't want your blood sugar to be below.
Jesse,
Yeah,
you guys might want to mute the mics.
David. I'm muted it.
You don't have enough. I mean, that's not. Gotta wait for Craig.
Oh, they did it already? Okay.
I think I did it.
What?
Okay. A concert.
I don't think you should go find him.
I never thought of it.
You're the wrong person.
That's not, yeah. Gary, could you maybe,
That busy, we'll wait.
I thought it was big.
So. Darren, we'll call the meeting back to order. Darren, could you come up? We had a little, he had a phone call and received some information, so he wanted to share that quick.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So Commissioner Pelton, Commissioner Kleeman, and myself, Terry and David with Dunn County met with Lemieux on 14th Street this morning. And if you guys recall, there is a calving pen that they have. It's about 800 feet in length. And one of Lemieux's hesitancy was to where the location of that fence was going to be back or was going to be after construction was completed. They're fine with the easement. They're fine with the project. But the request was that the fence line be replaced back where it originally was, just because they have limited room for their calving pasture that's right by their house, and they don't have property that's near to them that they own. They do rent some that's pretty close, but not for calving purposes. They had requested that the fence line be replaced after construction where it is now, and where it is now is about 30 feet or 35 feet off of the road center line. I wanted to bring it before the commission to see if that was okay, and if that's okay, they want an approach added, which shouldn't be a big deal. But if that's okay with the commission, they'll sign the easement and I can go out and secure the right of way on that project.
Is this on the inslope or is there back slopes on that
It'll
part?
probably be on the inslope. They're going to assume all maintenance for it. It'll be out of the clear zone. So as far as the liability in that end, but chances are, and I'd have to redesign it, but chances are it'll be somewhat on the inslope. We will still be able to grade out significantly past, the right of way line to do their temporary grading and tie everything in. Maybe there are some options that we can do to that to try to minimize the impact on the inslope, but just the way things lay out, there'll probably be some on the inslope, Mr. Chairman.
There is no back slope out on that section.
Not necessarily, no. There's no real defined ditch out there just because of the way the land currently sits.
Any discussion?
The road department was okay with it this morning, so.
I think it's okay. I mean, we do this going through people's yards and stuff like that, and that's pretty much what this is.
Yeah, they're not requesting it for the entire length of their property, just for the calving pen. So
Do we need a motion for that? Or does everybody just feel okay with the consensus?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we go ahead with the recommendation of the road department on 14th
Second.
by the Lemieux. Yep.
A motion made by Commissioner Dalzell, seconded by Commissioner Kleeman to approve putting the fence back at 35 feet, you said?
I believe right in that area, 34, 35 feet. I pulled the tape from center line, and that's what I came up with, and that's also about what they came up with.
The Lemieux calving pasture
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
on 14th Street. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, sorry, Desi, but are you ready?
Good morning.
Morning.
I just wanted to come and give you guys a reminder that nominations for the Excellence in County Government are now, and that is through the North Dakota Association of Counties. I did send that off in an email to you guys with the forms, and you also have the opportunity to nominate for 4 different categories. So a former commissioner or official, for a current commissioner, a current official, or a current employee. So you can nominate a person for each category or for as many as you would like. Once you guys figure out who you might want to nominate, Loanne or myself can help you get all of those documents together and sent to the association.
When's the deadline again?
August 2nd.
Any other questions?
Thank you for the reminder.
Thank you.
And if I might, one more thing.
Yeah.
The barbecue this weekend is at 5:30 down at the Little Mo after the fly-in at the airport. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
Pardon?
Did you get my email?
I did.
Told us you weren't leaving until Sunday.
What's it?
You just told us you weren't leaving until Sunday.
That's it. I'm not. So what is it, Saturday? Yeah. Yes, I could make it. Yeah. What time is it?
5:30.
Exchange it all that place and I leave tomorrow. Who the hell knows?
So I disappeared here.
Turns is Lord. Turns back there.
Is she?
He was.
Well, she was. I don't
Was.
see her now. Oh, okay. Gary, do you need to wait until your 11 o'clock spot?
Whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
Okay. Let's go for it. Thank you.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
So I brought this up at the last commission meeting and we had a split vote on it. Thought I'd bring it back. Just to remind everybody, it was the EMAC agreement or the Interstate Emergency Management Assistant Compact where the city of Milwaukee is requesting assistance for their big event they have coming up here in July. Just to elaborate a little bit on why I want to send some people to help with this. We had our local emergency planning committee met last night, and we had a guest speaker on just media relations for catastrophic event or something big that happens within our county. And we had a lengthy discussion, and I think 3 of the commissioners were there last night, and it's kind of eye-opening on just how many moving parts when you just separate them into one little thing, you know, like the media. It's a big thing and it needs to be addressed. But then you have all the other moving parts that go along with it. We send our officers to ICS training, incident command through FEMA, and these are all great trainings. They're all great to attend. You learn things from them, but this is an opportunity to be part of something that's got multiple moving parts to it. Media, different agencies working together. It's going to be a very big undertaking by a lot of different agencies, and it gives our deputies exposure to how things work when you have something that big going on in your area. Now, will we ever? I don't know. You know, we're right in the middle of oil country. There's, you know, never say never in this world on what could happen. But I think just the exposure to it and the ability to be part of something this big, you know, is something they can bring back in a practical aspect versus, you know, a training aspect. So I look at it as kind of both. It's a training that they're attending while they're actually fulfilling a request from another state. So I would ask that you consider it, and those are my reasons. You know, we have no political stake in this. It's merely the venue that's requiring this amount of attention and this amount of law enforcement. I did talk to Geneva, and there's still short people, and they're still willing to work with us, even though it's getting close to the deadline. So I would ask for your consideration on it one more time.
I think it'd be a great opportunity for the real life experience of a big event like that.
And it is reimbursable. You know, it's a state agreement. It's a compact they have with all the states. So as long as we get the paperwork filled out and returned to them, the county will be reimbursed. And, you know, I'm not going to say it's not without risk. I'm not going to say that something couldn't go wrong and couldn't happen, but that's what we do on a day-to-day basis. And I think if we were asking for help, I'd want other states to help us. And this is, in my opinion, it's a good opportunity to do that. So,
are there any questions?
Sheriff
Chairman?
Kuhn, go ahead.
Joanne.
Sheriff Kuhn, I was just, how many deputies are you asking to take to this?
so we have 5 deputies that have replied and said they would be interested in being part of this.
And with 5 gone, we're still covered.
Yeah, Harold and I would have to step up, but you know, we do what we need to do to keep things covered. But yeah, we looked at that. We would have our regular shifts covered and still our county covered. So,
Any other questions?
Oh, Mr. Chairman, I was just going to say, Gary, thanks for this information. Appreciate it.
Chairman, I move that we go ahead and allow him to send the 5 deputies.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Pelton, seconded by Commissioner Dalzell to approve the Milwaukee EMAC request. Is there any discussion?
No, we're still paying their wages, right?
so what it is they will be reimbursed through the state for all the costs. The county will pay up front, but the state will reimburse all.
And they're plane tickets and lodging. It's no, I understand that'll be paid for too.
What's that?
Their plane tickets and lodging.
I think what we're gonna do is rent a car. They'll pay for the rental of the vehicle, they'll pay for the housing, the food, everything that would go along with that entire event. So from the day they leave till the day they get back, those expenses would be covered, including payroll and fringe benefits. So we wouldn't be responsible for the insurance, whatever the additional payroll stuff is, they would cover that. Well,
Any discussion? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Marsh,
No.
Commissioner Dalzell,
Yes.
Commissioner Pelton,
Yes.
Commissioner Kleeman,
Yes.
Commissioner Beener.
Yes, motion carried.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Jorgensen section line?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Morning.
I'm back. Christina Wenko here with Makoff Kellogg Law Firm representing the petitioner in this matter, and that's Mr. William Jorgensen. Mr. Jorgensen was previously in front of you, I believe, last commission meeting. We had requested to vacate a section line. Based on the discussion that was had with this commission, you guys informed us that's not really the standard practice and protocol here in Dunn County, and suggested that we submit a request for a section line encroachment. So that has been submitted. I worked with Sandy Rohde, who is great to work with. We provided her a copy of the certified mailing receipt that shows that BLM has received notice of this request. I have not received any communication from them in response or in opposition of Mr. Jorgensen's request. So that it's the same information that was presented initially, the same location, the same request. I believe in the previous packet, we've submitted the surveys and whatnot, so you should have a good idea of where this particular area is located. We would just ask for the commission's blessing in granting us the section line encroachment request. And I would stand for any questions that you have.
So you have not heard back from the BLM?
BLM has not communicated with me at all
Is-
with response to the request.
Has anybody here reached out to them?
Mr. Chairman, I did talk to Andrew with the BLM, and, I don't know, today is a national or federal holiday, so they weren't able to come. They did want to hear what Mr. Jorgensen had proposed. I guess they would like an opportunity to review the material and get back to us.
Yeah, I guess my opinion is I'd like to hear what they have to say since it is on their property too.
Sure.
Was the BLM contacted when this was put in?
That'd be a question for Mr. Jorgensen. I can't say for certain if they were or they weren't.
Since it looks like it encroaches on.
I think it was, as I understand it, it was constructed and then a survey was completed, and it's slightly into that 33 feet based on the survey.
I believe that's correct. When we did the planning and zoning and he had to do the as-built on it, after it was built, that's when he realized it was on that property. Any questions?
Chairman, I guess I would move tabling a decision on the encroachment until we hear BLM's response.
Is there a second? The chair will second it. Motion made by Commissioner Dalzell, seconded by the chair to table discussions on the Jorgensen section line until BLM can be present. Is there any discussion?
Are we gonna do it until they can be present? They might put this off till September. Why don't we
No,
say till the next meeting?
till I would believe the next meeting. He
Next
thought by
meeting.
the end of the week. It's just that today was a federal holiday, so
Yeah, next
Well, they
meeting.
don't want to be here.
No, they do.
They either want to be here or reply by letter. So if we table it until the
Table
next
to the
meeting.
Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
And just for clarification, commissioners, when is your next meeting?
When's-
July 3rd?
Yeah.
And presumably this doesn't need any further publication or anything. We're just going to pop it onto the next agenda? Okay,
Yep.
alrighty, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Zach, it's a little early, but is it?
Holiday. No, the fourth is a holiday. The fourth is a holiday. Give everybody time off for the third. Is that the fifth?
Jack. Third? Oh, fifth.
If
Good morning.
All right. Good morning, commissioners. I'm Zach Mathern with JLG Architects.
And I'm Caitlin Kreider with JLG Architects.
This morning we have
Zach, sorry, you don't have a computer, do you?
No.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if we could put it up on the screen so everybody could see it.
we could go grab them if you want.
Would that be okay?
Take about
That way we can
5 minutes.
get it up there so everybody can see it and then
Sounds
be
good.
able to see it online too. Thank you.
That's it. What day? Wednesday.
Next Sam, have them come earlier.
I'll take 2 of them. I can read close. Sally, in case you don't want.
Our computer here, David said her.
Yeah. David, join the meeting. Yeah. What's that?
They're just opening on my computer, then I can share.
Oh. Oh, there we go. Right. Can you see that, John?
I can, thanks.
Perfect.
All right, great.
Okay, we're good to go.
What we have before you is a proposal for architectural services. We've met with the building committee 2 times to kind of get an understanding of the potential for what projects you're looking at doing as the county. We met with the building committee in May to get a general understanding of the parameters of what the project might be.
Squares.
Where's
On
that?
content.
So we've heard from the building committee that there are potentially 2 projects that that the county would like to investigate and study what the possibilities are. The first of those would be looking at the existing courthouse and getting an understanding of what departments and spaces may be utilized, either underutilized or overutilized, identifying some space needs for some departments and maybe some reduction of needs of other departments. With the primary need of that kind of study is related to the courts and providing adequate space for the main courtroom to serve the technology, accessibility, and kind of the jury needs and judge needs of that room in particular, and the support spaces associated with the courtroom. We understand that there was a decision not to renovate or not to expand that space when we did the courthouse expansion in 7 years ago now. And just they're finding that that courtroom is maybe not adequate to serve the needs of kind of a modern court case or the size of those events, especially when there's a jury case involved. So that would be kind of one of the projects. The other project, which we've learned about, is potentially taking down what is over by the Sample Auto building, or that lot that the county owns and is using for sheriff storage functions. Taking down those kind of dilapidated buildings and creating a new, what has been termed a public safety center, which might include space for additional sheriff storage, potentially training space, potentially an emergency operations center, and various spaces related to that function. The challenge with both of these projects, of course, is there's a lot of different moving parts and different departments that need space. And so we felt that it would be important to understand and come to a conclusion on which spaces need to go where and a scope and budget for these projects before they get too far down the road. And so what we've prepared today and the project we want to engage with you on is really a pre-designed study or a analysis and programming phase to really set up a scope and budget for those projects. And then once there's an understanding of what type of dollars either of these projects might require, then the commission can make a decision to move forward or continue on the path of design and construction for either of the projects. So that's essentially what this proposal is outlining, is the work that we would engage with you and the meetings and the timeline in order to understand what might be the scope, the scale, and the budget of these two projects, and an understanding of, in general or in rough terms, what they might look like, how big are they, and what they're going to cost, so that you can then make a decision whether we proceed with the full design of either of those projects.
Yep, so next phase is in steps. So there'd be the pre-design is what we're going to focus on now, and we're not even going to talk about the next phases until we understand what the scope and program is for these. But we would then go into basic services, which is your typical schematic design, design development, construction documents, bidding, and construction administration if you would decide to proceed with one of the two projects. So today we are combining them because there's going to be different pieces pulling from the courthouse into this new public safety center, or there might be pieces from the public safety center coming back and living in the courthouse as like the public facing. So we will talk about those next phases and steps after this. Right now, we just want to hone in on this pre-design element on really establishing that program. And there's a tentative schedule. Which I'll down so it's on the screen. So this is in the proposal. I didn't have dates on there, but I did add some dates this morning that I emailed over to Cody and Sally. If JLG was selected to proceed with this, we were looking at a June kickoff meeting, so that'd be next week. We would confirm the stuff that we heard on May 1st to figure out where we would want to go with this program, and the different departments, and identify different square footages that can be modified within the courthouse currently. Then we'd go into July and August. There'd be program review, finalizing that program, reviewing the agency adjacency and workflows within those spaces, and we can come back to the commission again in the August commission meeting to confirm that program and scope and really hone in on that program element. What are these departments? What are the needs? What is the space needs? And then we would dive into additional adjacency programming, plan concepts, form, understand materiality as a budget aspect. And we come back to the commission in November to present that budgetary considerations. And we can always fast track some of these if you're planning for budget, where we might do a budget exercise sooner if you need that information for the July or August planning. But that is our current intent on the schedule, is to really hone in on the project program scope, identifying that piece before even trying to figure out how it would look. And then, so that's the proposal that we presented to the committee on Monday. I also have this proposal would be like an exhibit to a B101 architect owner contract. I sent a copy of that to Cody and Sally too. So if there is interest in proceeding with this, it doesn't have to be signed today, but you have that information, and I can pull that up on the screen if you want me to go through any specifics on that. And then I also have a potential schedule, because they're eager. If they were going to start, let's get going on this. So I do have potential dates and that how that would lay out, also that I could pull up. But right now, the way that I structured it is there'd be like an August 7th and I think a November 3rd commission meeting is the two dates that we'd be hitting for to finalize this effort. And then compensation too for this. So we're looking at a fixed fee of the whole programming would be 50 grand. And then if you want photorealistic rendering, we can do a lot of stuff with our software, but if you want something that's really photorealistic and a wow the public or whoever you're trying to get support and backing for this project, we can provide that as well. And I have that as an ad service of 4 grand.
So just as a quick synopsis, this fee proposal is strictly for the pre-design phase of this project, in which we would hope at the end to have a kind of a vision for what you want these two projects to be, an understanding of the scope and size of those projects, and a rough budget for what those projects would take to construct and design. And then from there, there's a decision point at November, if you proceed with this work, to then proceed with the full design of either of those projects. And so some opportunity to make those decisions along the way.
Are there any questions?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, these projects will be separate amounts of money, right? Like
Yeah,
the
we
courthouse will be, and then, okay, not that they're gonna be combined.
Yeah, we want to give you the opportunity to choose. Maybe both projects proceed, maybe only one proceeds,
Right.
maybe they're phased. So we would provide a budget for both projects separately, so that you can make those decisions.
It would be nice so we knew what this project was costing us and what this one was costing us.
Exactly.
So, okay.
Chairman, as far as the building committee, this is kind of the plan going forward in your discussions and where you
This is
just.
our recommendation.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we go ahead with the agreement with JLG on the projects.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion made by Commissioner Dalzell, seconded by Commissioner Pelton to approve the contract with JLG on the pre-design phase. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Marsh,
Yes.
Commissioner Dalzell.
Yes.
Commissioner Pelton.
Yes.
Commissioner Kleeman,
Yes.
Commissioner Beener.
Yes, motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We can do that after the meeting if you can stick around.
Okay. I'm sharing my screen.
We're close.
Kirsten?
Yeah.
Good morning.
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 So a month ago or so, I helped with another burp training, so the bovine emergency response training over in Dickinson. It was put on by the Farm Bureau over there. I did a branding safety talk with kids at the school at the end of school. There was the district communication arts contest over in New England. So that's all hands on deck. Everybody in the district went over there and helped with that contest. We did not have any kids go over there, but hopefully soon, hopefully someday we'll have some kids go over there. I held a tree and shrub class. There were, I believe, 12 people that attended that one. Tom Kalb came over and talked about fruit trees, and I talked about planting trees and pruning trees as well. We held our Junior Master Gardener Program Plant Handout Day. We encourage kids to keep us up with how their planting is going throughout the planting season, and then we keep in touch with them at the end and they report back to us. There's also one-on-one education that happens when they pick up their plants. So it was a fun day. We had about 90 kids come through, so it was a good turnout. We went down to Kansas for the K-State Livestock Judging Camp. They were older kids. There were 5 of them. It was a really good opportunity that we provided to those kids. They got a ton out of the camp. K-State is one of the top livestock judging teams in the U.S. They're usually in the top 5 at least. So it was a really, really good opportunity for our kids to go to. Chris Larson is starting tomorrow, actually. She's going to be our new FCW agent in the office. Fair entry is closed for County Achievement Day, so that was open the last couple of weeks. It's closed. It closed on Monday. And state fair registration for 4-H projects is open this week. So we're in the heart of this is where planning really picks up, actually. So it's a fun time of year, and we love seeing it's when we get to see our 4-H kids and parents the most. So I really enjoy it. Horse practice is going. We have that once a week on Mondays at the rodeo grounds. And the phone calls that I'm getting are land value questions, rental rates, 4-H questions, and then I have had a couple on noxious weeds lately. So, yeah.
Good.
Any questions?
Any questions?
Do you hear a lot about the grasshoppers?
Yeah, we've had a couple of conversations with grasshoppers, and I would agree they're more south than around the Manning area. So, yeah,
Well, thank you so much.
you're welcome.
Thanks. Mr. Chairman, I did talk to Dustin with the ambulance, and him and Kelly or CPA, they're on their way, so they'll
Okay.
they'll be earlier.
We can work on the vouchers until they get here.
What
But we
do
can't-
you want to take care of Caitlin and Zach now, so they don't have to sit, or
I
do you need
can,
this?
we can take a break and I can go take care of that.
I just,
Because we can't do the vouchers yet anyways, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah, on this one,
a few minute break.
next month.
We could do, we could add them today with them.
Don't matter, but we gotta be on here to approve them.
Well, yeah.
As long as it's in the minute there.
Huh? Well, it's not yeah, the ambulance is not on here.
Oh,
It should be okay. I mean, we okay, it goes on next month.
if it's in the minutes, we can.
Yeah, it's approved. Yeah.
Oh.
So, oh, they're here already?
They're here.
Oh, good.
Good deal.
I thought,
You can come on up. Morning.
You guys are fast this morning, I hear.
yeah.
Dustin Lane, Killdeer Ambulance. Have you all received the additional documentation that was emailed to you this week?
I would like to interrupt quick and just kind of start off with, I think there was some misunderstanding. This request was already in the budget for 2024.
Correct.
So I think we kind of got misunderstood that I don't think you needed to fill out the application
Okay,
because this was already in the budget.
certainly.
Okay.
Yep.
And I'll let you, if anybody has any questions or if you have something to say.
Commissioner Marsh had asked for a little additional documentation, and that's what I did provide you with, that budget comparison. That just lets you see where we're at on our operating budget for the year. And the column I added to the far right side, this shows you what we expect and hope for the rest of the season or the rest of the calendar year. If things were to run exactly along these lines, we would have approximately $55,000 in carryover, which is basically what we need to start into 2025 until the mill levy starts being received.
Is there any questions?
Kelly's here now.
Hello. Does anybody have any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate them filling out those documents, so we have a good record of the information. And then I just want to reiterate the fact that the expectation is we get their quarterly financials.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Kelly, you weren't here, I guess, but I brought up this money for 2024 was already in the budget. So there didn't need to be a request for the money because it was already built into the budget for 2025. And the motion at that time said you have to come back and revisit it again for 2025. But for 24, this money was budgeted for you guys, for they killed their ambulance already. So, okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Well, thank you for coming in.
Absolutely. Thank you all.
Have a good one.
Mr. Chairman.
Made it, Kelly.
Yeah, she raises here and then it's like, what?
What's that?
Mr. Chairman, I would, so we're good with Or do you need a motion or?
Already in the budget.
It's already in the budget, so there's no reason to make a motion to give, huh?
You need to do anything to,
Sally, do you know what, I mean, do they
we'll just, okay.
contact Sally?
Very good.
Okay.
She'll do what she does.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
Okay. On to the vouchers.
Just one, that property tax, they've got a press conference tomorrow coming out
Oh,
again.
yeah.
It sounds like they do have the signature. So it will be,
Oh, really?
depending on how many signatures get kicked off. But it sounds like it might be going ahead. So we will, our hands full.
Oh. Yep. Okay. Thank you for that.
Mr. Chairman, just a reminder of the Dunn County Fair, the 28th, 29th, and 30th. And we're doing the commissioner's meal at the High Plains on Saturday at the 29th. Yeah, I think the 29th. So you could use the help.
Be there, I don't know. I got the high school friend.
Mhm.
I'll get there.
So anyway, that maybe Sally can send a little reminder out, and Eric Fleming, our county road guy, is doing the meal for us.
Oh. Good deal. Yeah.
Well, if everybody's looked at the vouchers, I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
No second.
Motion made by Commissioner Kleeman, second by Commissioner Pelton to approve the vouchers. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Dalzell,
Yes.
Commissioner Pelton,
Yes.
Commissioner Kleeman,
Yes.
Commissioner Beaner.
Yes, motion carried.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't have the
Yeah.
vouchers. Entertain a motion.
To adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion to adjourn made by Commissioner Kleeman, seconded by Commissioner Dalzell. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Yeah, I thought it would be longer.
Got it all off?
No, I haven't touched that yet.
Oh, gosh, she's got the mouse in it, huh?
Cody,
You guys have.
I hand the mouse down. Got a cat down here, it's hungry.
Thank you.
Okay.
You guys have.
Bad one. It's kind of funny, actually. She fought off the princess.
Good. Let's take care of it.